it, Jeff.
We're waiting on you to show up so we can start the meeting.
That is my bad.
Yeah, it was on your calendar.
It must have gone to spam.
It was.
All right, now that everybody's here, thanks for coming. I brought you guys here tonight to talk about hunting our next ghost. The only way we know how. We're gonna lure it, we're gonna insult it, and we're gonna provoke it. And this week, we're gonna do it in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, sweet, like riverboats and craps and stuff.
Gambling, that whole thing. We know how much you love to gamble, and we want to gamble with your money too, so we're all gonna do that. But
Wait,
first,
what?
Lindsay, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you very much. So our story takes place in northern Louisiana at the turn of the 19th century. Now, the place that we're going to is filled with the town's prominent mayors, some pioneers, and even some Civil War vets. I'm talking, of course, about the Oakland Cemetery in downtown Shreveport. Now, the creepy thing about this place, aside from it just being really old, is that many parts of the grounds appear to be uninhabited. The bodies are there, even though there are a lack of headstones.
So there's no gravestones at all? That's a field,
Yeah.
is what you're describing.
A
We're
field
haunting a soccer pitch.
Well, what happened was in 1873, a quarter of the town's population died from a yellow fever epidemic. So 759 people are buried in an unmarked mass grave known as the Yellow Fever Mound.
Wait, so we're just looking for like a bunch of sickly ghosts, so they're not even like full body, like healthy
Jaundice
ghosts.
ghosts.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you're gonna be able to punch the hell out of these ghosts.
That's my favorite kind of ghost, is a sick ghost.
I don't know why they just didn't light a match and set the hole on fire full of dead people.
You don't know they didn't.
Are we just looking for like a pile of dirt?
When someone gets cremated, Lindsay, I assume there's not an urn floating around following you.
You never been pocket sanded by a ghost?
No, I've never
It's
done
not
that.
fun. So there is one marked gravestone that we're going to be able to find, and this belongs to an Irish immigrant. Her name is Annie McCune. She was known as one of Shreveport's most prominent philanthropists. She's also known as the Shreveport Madam.
I'm gonna guess by the way you said madam that she was a prostitute.
Yes, she even paid for a burial plot for a kid that wasn't hers.
She's like that Robin Hood of hooking.
Basically. Annie's presence there is still very strong, to the point that she even still has a secret admirer that leaves her flowers on her grave.
So wait, this lady's been dead for like 100 years.
Something like
and
that.
there's an alive person that is still an admirer who brings her flowers?
Yes. The only problem we're gonna have is that she didn't like to be photographed. So we don't have a picture of her.
It's probably somebody who's really lonely and is trying to get, even ghost laid is better than no laid.
It's like the reverse pottery scene. She'll come up behind him. That's not the only place that we're going, though. So across the street from the cemetery, we have another location, the Shreveport Municipal Memorial Auditorium. This venue was the first place that Elvis got his musical start in 1954.
Does Elvis haunt?
That's the thing, is people say that they hear voices talking about Elvis. Sometimes they'll hear Elvis himself singing. And there's also a woman in white. Maybe it's Annie herself. In many auditoriums, too, they leave what is called a ghost light lit for any spirits of past musicians to come and always have a place to perform. So I'm thinking, who's to say Elvis isn't coming back for another encore?
Do you think Elvis used her services?
Ghost services.
One BJ, please. So who's to say that Elvis and Annie might not be haunting the auditorium together for eternity?
I think we're to say. We're gonna hunt down the ghost of Elvis, yellow fever victims, Annie McCune, the hooker with a heart of gold. Let's get to it. Let's go to Shreveport and hunt some ghosts.
Play some craps.
Eventually we'll play craps, but first we'll find the ghosts.
All right.
Let's do it.